Hi everybody, so today it is time for Basil's spring/summer makeover. He's just about lost all his winter coats. I rode him a little bit earlier, so he's got a bit of a long mane. Gonna see if we can get the last bits of hair down. His tail looks a bit yucky, so we're just gonna give him a little bit of a spring clean. You're going to have a spring clean, Basil? So that's the plan for today, isn't it, hey? Good boy. Now I'm going to give him a body brush. This is just to see if we can make you sparkle, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean his mane through with a mane comb. So in a minute I'm going to pull it. But just so I don't give him a warning too much, I'm going to comb it first before I wash his tail. Because sometimes he's okay to have his mane pulled, sometimes he gets a bit grumpy, so we'll see how he's doing today. He seems quite chilled tonight and it's quite warm, so hopefully the pores are quite open on his mane today. But worried Tommy's going to knock the camera off. It's very close to him and he can nearly reach for over the door. Yeah, so he might be good today, and as I say, because it's quite hot, the pores are open, so hopefully the hair will come out more easily than normal, more than when it's cold, I mean, because I tend to try and do it when it's warm. Always has very little forelock, but his forelock doesn't seem to grow much, so I don't really ever need to pull his forelock. Fidgets used to grow really big and thick and bushy, and his needed a little bit back and nothing does really. He doesn't really like his cold toes on his tail. So So I've just got just a normal cleansing shampoo, gentle cleansing shampoo. It's nothing special, but it is a horty one, isn't it? Yeah? You're going to wash your tail now, make it shiny. However, he quite likes having his stock. Behind him a bit at the moment, but I'm still being quite wary of him. He's very chilled, so that's where reading their body language, you know, makes a big difference. But I'm still wary just in case he suddenly decided to kick at a fly or something like that. We've got quite a lot of bubbles in there now, so that's why I wait till it's warmer, so the cold hose, I mean he's still a bit funny, but I can really get the bubbles in, really clean the tail on his dog, because I know I can get the hose up there and really clean, get all the bubbles out, and he won't get cold. I try and hold his tail away so that he doesn't get cold on his bottom, but he tries to clamp it down so hard, it's really quite tricky. So now I'm going to swing it, which Chesney hates, but I can do it with Basil. And I'm going to trim the bottom off. It's fairly good anyway, because I did trim it across the bottom not that long ago, so I just tried it up a little bit. I like it to be longer in the summer. In the winter, trying to put it out and merge, but in the summer I like it to be a bit longer. Just neaten it up a little bit along the bottom. There we go. And now I've got my glove, because I'm going to, while his tail dries, I'm going to put his mane. My hand's a bit wet, so I can't get the glove on there. So you're going to be a good boy. It's quite thin at the bottom, I think, because of the rug over the winter, so it will thicken up. Obviously I'm just lucky that I haven't got to try and plait it. And you can see what he does with his head because he knows I'm about to pull. I do try to only do little bits, but he tenses himself up. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I don't think Tommy would like this, would he? It's funny how some come out more easily than others. To be honest, we're a bit late with this year, but the weather has been just been too wet and not warm enough really when I've had the time to do it. So yeah, this is a bit later than we'd usually do it, but never mind. I don't very often. Well, very, very rarely do I wash manes, only if I give them baths, and that's very, very rare. Obviously, if I was going to shows and stuff, I'd need to, but as I'm not, I don't tend to do that. Though this time, as they're coming out of the winter, they're often a little bit scurfy, but it usually goes during the summer. And obviously they need those greases in the winter, so yeah, so I sort of leave them a bit more natural. So I think I'm going to leave that at that. So just tidy it up a little bit. It's not really short. I could do it, half as much again. But I quite like it that length. It just looks tidy. And if I did it much shorter, it would stick in the air. So it just looks tidy, doesn't it? So next thing we'll do is going to spray some mane and tail. He's looking very suspicious. I'm just going to spray it on his tail, obviously, because if I spray it on his mane, then next time I ride the reins will be all slippery. Find that it's just really good because it means it's much easier to get the knots out of their tails without pulling out much hair, so that's really why I use it. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to trim them the bridle part and just trim these. This one's not too bad, the other one's got all greasy bits in the hair, so we're just going to trim that and tidy that, and I think we'll give his nose a little clean then. So the bridle part will just help, it helps divide, so you can more easily divide the hair when you put the bridle on, so it sits more comfortably in some ways. I usually do it a tiny bit further forward than where I'm trying to see where I did it last year, which is growing quite well. Just in front of where the head collar does, and really I don't do a big bit, just enough to help me divide it. Help me divide the hair when I put the bridle on. Did that make a funny noise? Silly boy. A good one. Right, let's just do your ear. So we just fold his ear together. I'll just trim the long ones off, to be honest. Some people would really trim them off, but they need their hairs to keep the nasty things from flying in, don't you? Good ones, dirty ones, eh? better. Hang on, there's another bit here. Hang on. And obviously, you don't want midges getting out in their ears because they can cause nasty, nasty things. Basil actually already has a slightly funny lump in his ear, but he's had that for a long time. I don't know really what caused it. Right, good boy. Just wipe your nose a bit, lucky pup. Good boy. Oh, I know, it's a good boy. So the last thing I'm going to do is comb through his tail. Again, I'm going to use my main comb, the bigger one, to do this. It's not totally dry, but I'm going to do it now anyway. Right, and as you can see, lots of hair still comes out, even though I'm doing it gently. They're just ready to come out, because I'm not pulling at it at all, it's just combing it through. So I think, I guess I lose some hair, so by doing it this time of year it's sort of regenerated. I don't know, I could be making that up. So I was just trying to edit my video, and I got to near the end, which ended up being the end. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it didn't work towards the end. And I showed you how lovely he looked and showed his tail and everything. And unfortunately it has rained today, so I've had to put his rug on because he got wet. So you can still sort of see how much nicer his tail looks, but unfortunately I'll show you his good boy. Unfortunately his mane is all wet and scraggy, so he doesn't look as smart as he did when I showed you after I'd finished. And this looks really dirty here, but it's in the camera, but it doesn't look that dirty from here. It must be the light catching it or something. Anyway, so he looked very smart after I'd finished his spring makeover, and actually he did this morning when I rode him as well. It's just now he's got wet that he looks quite scruffy again, but not as scruffy as he was because his tail's still nice, and his mane's still shorter, of course, so in some ways he looks better. Anyway, that's his usual delightful stance. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Before I go, I thought I'll just show you what Tommy's done to himself today, because he got wet, so he thought he'd become a hippopotamus again. See you soon.